You must always understand that everything that is creeping under the sun, under the heaven, it has got its own destiny. And you must always understand you have got a destiny, you have got a goal that you have to achieve before you can disappear from this world. And you must always understand that. That's why today we want to talk about the management. And let me read from in the Bible so we can see from the Genesis and know the original of the human races, so we can understand who are we and why are we here on earth. What should we do? What destiny, what propensity are we holding so that we can achieve? So we want to read from Genesis chapter 1, and I am about to read. And he blessed them all and told the creatures that lived the water to reproduce and to fill the sea, and he told the bird to increase in numbers. Increase there meaning to prosper and not to decrease. Watch that, think it. Then God said, now we will make human beings, they will be like us and resemble us. They will have power over the fish, the bird, and all the animals, domestic, wild, large, and small. So God created human beings, making them to be like himself. He created them male and female, blessed them, and said, have many children so that your descendant will live all over the world and bring it under your control. I am putting you in charge of the fish, the bird, and all wild animals. I have provided all kind of grain and all kind of food for you to eat. And now from that reading, you can have the motivation. You can now know your position. God already gave you the authority, the power, so that you can dominate over everything that is creeping outside the race of human beings. And you must always understand you have much more to offer. And you must always understand everything that overcomes a man, it makes a man to become a slave of that. So if you are going to become a slave of that dream that you can't achieve, that poverty that you have been passing year to year, you must always understand that is a perversion. And today we want to talk about the power of management. Now, before we talk about management, what we are from reading from Genesis, that is God creating things not physically but in the spiritual realm. Let's read in Genesis chapter 2 from verse 4 to 7, and you will understand what I am talking about. And then the Bible said the word, it was formless. Nothing was there, no tree, no any other thing, no rain was there. The world, the universe, the earth, it was nothing, no meaningful, because nobody was there to manage it. Nobody was there to cultivate it. Until God, in chapter 7 of Genesis chapter 2, he said, now I am going to create, to make a man. Then from the soil, he got the soil, then he created, he breathed it. Then a man came into existence so that he could manage what God created. And you must always understand that whenever we see a lot of trouble, poverty, lack of money, lack of ambition that cannot be achieved, dreams, propensity, aspiration, ambition, then we always wonder why. Because people, they do not want to give up so that they can start another life. People, they do not want to go into challenges. People, they do not want to cultivate their inner inclination. But people want to depend. They do not want to be dependent. They do not want to be independent. They want to be dependent to others. When they have a duty bound to be managers here on earth, because there is no discrimination upon everybody here on earth, because every life that you are living, you can have to choose how to live, or how you're going your life to be in 4 years, in 3 years, in 1 year, in 1 month, in 2 months, in 3 months. That depends upon a decision and the type of belief system that you are going to embrace. Now you must always understand this. Now we want to talk about management. Let me start by defining management for you. Management means effective, efficient, correctly, and timely use of resources, property, producing added value. And you must always understand a manager is a person who always utilize the resources properly, producing, and he had them to become much more valuable. You must always understand a manager, you don't own anything. What you need is you utilize what is already there. And we are told that God already gave us that authority, that power. He gave us the grain so that we can reproduce on ourselves. And we must always understand this again about God. God is a spirit. And you cannot worship God in flesh. You can only please God when you come with the spirit of faith. For what is faith? Faith is the hoping for the substance. You must always understand that there are only one thing that we are in common between a baker, a poor man, and a rich man, a billionaire. Both of them, they have got 24 hours a day, the same hours. So it depends how you're going to become. That depends about your utility that you use about your time, and that is time management. And you must always understand, no matter there's a composition for everything, there's no composition for time. Don't you let any negativity, nature of any individual describe who you are. Because you must always understand, it's not every person that was and that can make it, that can want to live above his dream. Because you must always understand, if you want to be a leader, if you want to manage your life, if you want to manage your dreams, you must always understand that you must be an eagle. An eagle can fly above every other private jet ever invented. And you must always understand, because the planes, they can only fly in 19,000 miles, and that is 3 miles. And you must always understand, an eagle can fly more than that. It can fly to 4 miles. That is higher than any other private jet. And you must always understand, many they fail in life because they do not understand the power of management. If the few that you have, God always has already gave us everything. He said He gave us the grain so that we can have what we need to eat. But there are poverty that is living, that is vouching among us race across the globe, because people, they do not understand the power of management. Because a manager, you do not own anything, but you utilize what is already into existence. And that what is into existence is the power to believe, is the power to cultivate your faith, because faith is the substance of hoping for the things and the evidence of not seeing them. It is not just about hoping, but it's bringing what you are hoping into reality. You have your destiny, you have your goal, but the problem, we always sell ourselves through somebody's idea, through somebody's office. You are not going to get paid when you are when you're working upon somebody's office. This is the time when you need to rise and take challenges and take failures, and turn failures into opportunities, and opportunities into success. And it is when you are going to be a leader. Because you must always understand, leaders are born because of circumstances, and leaders are people who think different from followers. Leaders were once followers, but when they saw circumstances of life, they changed their mindset. Because what the life you are living, it all depends. It always defines the thinking, the utilization of your mind. You must always understand that. And you must always understand there are two creatures that the Creator identified with. The first of all is an eagle, and the second is the lion. And today I want to talk about the lion, which is the source of encouragement to every person who wants to succeed in life. And I am here to encourage a person, a woman, a girl, a boy, It is possible. It was possible for those who overcome challenges, failures, and they turn them and they make them into opportunities. You have heard about Henry Ford, who turned a failure, not performing well in school, in academically, but he turned that failure into bringing, innovating a motor. As Abraham Lincoln once said, that nothing in this world is impossible to a willing heart. How willing are you to take that journey so that you can recognize your position as manager? Because that business that you have, I don't care how small, how big it is, but what I know, it is the utilization, how you are going to manage. Because the road of success, it is not an easy way. It is not an easy road. But you must always understand, take challenges, manage your life. Don't always, how can you become a manager, a good manager, when every time you are involving yourself in thinking in negativity, natural, when you have the time to think in talk to Genesis so that you can break the inertia, you can move the mountain into possibilities, because it is possible. It has been possible for others, and it will still be possible to them. Because do not always focus about the failures of yesterday, because failures of yesterday, it will always remain with failures of yesterday, because no man has got the power to change the situation, the circumstances, the ramifications of yesterday. But we have the power to change, to manage our future, because what the future is holding for you is what you are holding for the future. And you must always understand that. Many people, they go in prayer. They want to pray when that little grain that Almighty God has already given them, they can't utilize them. They have little, they can't even get 10% to give it to the Creator, to the owner. How are you going to be a good manager? How are you going to proceed in your destiny? You must always understand that. Life is not a game. And if you're going to take a life like a game, we are going to bury you in a low grave. And you must always understand that. Oh, this innovation that you are seeing around you, it will always start with a management. People who believed in themselves, people who believed in their propensity, their inner wiring, their aspiration, their ambitions, are people who stood and they believed, and it was possible, and it became a reality. And I am encouraging you, don't always involve yourself with failures, because failure will not come to those who fails, but failures always come to those who succeed. Because failures, it is like a word to those who succeed. You must always try to follow me on my YouTube channel, that is Moses Mbansi. On Facebook, again, we can have a personal channel, that is Moses Muse, for a lot of inspirational quote. And I believe this video is going to change your mindset, the way you stay into your environment, because you must always understand this. Expecting things to change without putting in any effort is like waiting for a ship at the airport. That is a paradox, but that's a reality. That's why there's poverty. People, they do not know their position. They do not have their dreams. They do not believe. But I am encouraging you. Utilize everything that you have. And the resources that you have that you can utilize. It is your mental and physical resource. It is your mind. Because the type of life that you are living, you must always understand, it is what is inside you. Is what you are thinking. Always stay connected. Always believe. Always be a good manager upon that company, upon that business. Always discipline yourself, because success is not going to come like drinking water, like living on easy street. No, success, it is a journey where you're going to face thorns. You're going to face disappointment, failures, and all so forth. But you can still stand and believe, because you cannot have an attitude that is beyond your belief. And you must always understand this principle of life that I always put in my motivational card. You must always understand The thought of a man, your thought is a word, and your word are your actions, and your actions is your destiny. Very hard, but very simple. So change your actions, change your word. Don't sound like a chicken, because chicken, they can only fly when they are threatened. You are an eagle, fly higher, because the higher you fly, the higher you reach your goals. So stay connected always.